Hello, everyone. This is Jose, the real life Kudu-Cadian. I just wanted to talk about, as you know, as a Kudu-Cadian man living in the U.S., it's election season going on. Wanted to show y'all something as well, by the way. Official flag, by the way. Uh, this part representing like computer chips. The A with the arrows and the circle, that's the mutualist branch of anarchy, as well as boom, interest in space travel and space expansion, the use of markets, which, there's a whole thing on redesigning markets that makes it more mutualistic rather than capitalistic because, let's face it, there is such thing as mutualistic markets that work together to perform a duty is, uh, that build a society rather than just deplete a society. And then there's the focus on mental health. Mental health plays a big part in anarchy. In order for anarchy to be functioning and stable, we have to consider the mental health behind everybody's motives and everything. Not the mental health, the psychology behind motives, how people think, all that. You have to think about all that. So understanding psychology basically and mental health just all plays a big part in making anarchy function in a more stable fashion, as well as environmental care. Want to care about the environment. The environment plays a big part in how we live. Believe it or not, the environment is something we need to take care of. If we don't take care of it, we can be endangering ourselves as a species. Uh, the planet's not in danger. Our species will be in danger if we don't be considerate of how we affect the environment, which ultimately is our habit space. So, one thing I want to talk about this election season, y'all, is as anarchists, not just any anarchist, a Kudukadian anarchist. That's my culture as an anarchist, Kudukadian, with the values associated. But as we said, with the election up, I want y'all to think about how much control you have over your own lives. What can you do for yourself? That is what I want y'all to think about. That is my encouragement for this election season. Think about in it's we're reaching the ends of 2024. Think about how far you've come, what have you done in the meantime, and then also think about what can you do going forward into from the rest of this year and into the next this year. I say this because we look towards politicians and everything constantly for assistance in certain areas that we really don't need their assistance in. It's simply, like, I understand Medicare, everybody wants Medicare, but if you simply just buy some books on medical knowledge, just understanding the human body, and understanding how your body is supposed to function as a human being, that's better than just simply paying and putting everything onto the doctor to determine for you. It's simply you're putting the knowledge into your own hands and you're understanding how to take care of your own body so that way you're not always having to look to a doctor when problems occur. You can understand when a problem occurs, or like sometimes problems occur minor. The health starts minor, and then as you ignore it, it can grow into something bigger because you're not addressing the minor issues, the signs that are being given to you in your health. You can simply get a book, become aware of these things, and figure out how to address them before they have the potential to get worse, which will cause you to need a doctor. Now, there are some situations, obviously, with some things just hit you too fast that you might need assistance, and that's when the doctor comes in handy. But at the same time, you realize how much of your health is in your own control, not just your health, how much your income. How are you utilizing your income? Yeah, people want more money, but at the same time, what are you doing with your income? You need to be doing something with your income that will benefit you in the now as well as the long term. I understand, like, you want to plan ahead, but also make sure the now is also being addressed as well as the plan ahead. So, you want to plan ahead. Think about it. At the end of the day, your goal should be stability for yourself. You need some stability in life. You should figure out the things that's making it unstable. Like, most people think money is the stability. Money is not necessarily the stability because eventually you get old, you develop issues, so it affects your ability to work. So you have to think about that. How can I prepare for when I get old? What can I do? What some changes in my life can I make for when I get old? Simply for when you get old, making transitioning things that you go constantly outside for look and pay other people to do. Start figuring out how to do it at home and figure out what can you incorporate into your home with the modern knowledge of today to make to make these duties easier for you at home, so that way it's not taking too much of a toll on you, as well as it's helping you live. Simply making your own power grid. Now, that's not something that's going to happen overnight, but as you start small by small, you'll eventually have your own power grid. You can certainly incorporate, starting by incorporating, like, buying yourself batteries with solar panels. Okay, buy yourself a battery with a solar panel. Now, understand, this is we're living in America. Capitalist system has to be somewhat preserved because, you know, there's just this group of people that just won't let it die out like it's supposed to. But so they can still get their money. What we can do is encourage markets, like I said, benefit of markets, encourage markets that help us be more self sufficient. You know, and even though help us supply areas where we always can't necessarily supply for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, really high quality solar panels require all these chemicals and all that to really make it, and then all this. It require I've looked it up. It requires like a spray. You gotta form the glass cell, then spray it with a type of chemical, well, that it increases is conductivity. Conductivity. I think glass is considered conductive, so that you want to spray with this chemical that will increase its conductivity when the energy from the sun, the beams from the sun hits it. So it increases its conductivity, and then they add some more stuff, and then they put it together. See, that it's just a lot on your own. I mean, you can simply learn how it's made, just in case fact something happens to factories you need to. But in the system where we still have to conquer capitalism, uh, we can just simply appoint this to the markets that are willing to make it. All right, keep making this, and we'll keep contributing. So they're contributing to self sufficiency. Basically, markets that contribute to making you more self sufficient, it is what we want to encourage. This is one of the ways we can reshape this economy as well. Simply encouraging markets that are willing to help with self sufficiency, keep people self sufficient, while they still can make some money, for themselves, utilize that money to make themselves more self sufficient if they want. At the end of the day, we all want to get to a point where we're comfortable. So whether you're a billionaire or a poor person or a lower or middle class person, it doesn't matter where you stand on such an economic. We all should at least want some comfortability for ourselves and our lives. And just because where you stand on a social economic scale shouldn't determine whether you deserve comfort in life or not. Humans we've been dedicating ourselves for thousands of years, no matter what side you're on. All right, billionaires, all right, they be contributing ideas even though they don't put in the physical work. Then you got you got the lower class who put in the physical work and actually create these ideas and bring them into life. So there you go. It's all about we all both play our part together. Even though you don't have to really be a billionaire to be a planner. You don't have to be a lower class person to be a worker, a person who puts in that work. There's on both sides. It's just one class thinks they don't have to do that no more, while the other one thinks they have to do that. It doesn't matter. Comfortability is for everybody. Okay, that's exactly what we want, but we got to build it for ourselves. Be in control of your own comfort. Not put your comfort in the hands of others who can control how comfortable you are. Put the comfort into your own hands, so that way you can control your own comfort. You know what I'm saying? So simply increasing your knowledge on multiple things. Like one thing people can be increasing their knowledge on that I say will benefit y'all, your car. Simply just learn how a car works. All the mechanical structures of every car, figure out how it works. You don't have to be a mechanic to know these things. But simply, let me tell you, knowing these things will help you better address the mechanic on what you need done for your car. So that, and this way you also know what's being done to your car. Okay, this works like this, and also simply learn about the issues that occur when something's wrong with certain parts. That's another knowledge separate in itself versus how the car functions. Learning what happens with certain parts malfunction. What are the signs? What are the symptoms? What the experience? What are the sounds? Simply learning about that is another thing. And just having that knowledge in your brain will allow you to approach the mechanic and get better deals for yourself. Simply that. Just knowledge. Increase your knowledge in everything. Medical, boom. You document your own medical histories. People don't document their medical history. If you don't document your medical history, you won't always know what happens to your body. Document your medical history. It saves the hospital some time. You ain't gotta go log in the hospital to all your medical records that have been over the years. Simply just by documenting it yourself. Boom, you know what to say. All right, I experienced this in the past. This could be this, and this is how it was addressed to help me. You know what I'm saying? And also just simply understand how your body's supposed to work, or like understand how your body's supposed to work. Get the medical books. Learn how they treat these things. Learn how they treat them. If there's a book out there that teaches you how they treat them, get all these things, people. It's ways to turn your life around. You can grow your own food too, or else you can help apartment complex encourage your landlords or whatever management agency owns that building and encourage them to install a little area where it'll shine sun through a vertical garden that the tenants can access to and help grow themselves. If the landlord can charge a little bit extra, just a little bit extra, just for that, but at the same time, it's bringing less stress on y'all because, boom, you're supplying your own food now. You know, you supply your own food. You ain't gotta go out and keep buying food. You know, plus the capitalist system gets preserved in a different way where okay, and it also brings more local foods. Shipments actually drive up prices of foods. Boom, you grow it in your own building. Boom, everybody gets to eat. Landlords made their money. Bam, you know, they money. They good. They good. They ain't got nothing to worry about. It's the grocery stores, but hey, prices going up. All them shipping prices. And we even had an issue where sometimes the shippers, they weren't getting vaccinated, so there was a shortage of shippers. Because nobody wanted to use a shipper that wasn't vaccinated. Simple as that. We could just have locally grown things and simply eat from that, which would be less things you have to spend money on. It'll be local, so and you just pay to live in that building. Okay, obviously the high quality of the building. That's going to upgrade the quality of the building a little bit because that's actually going to increase the property value in the government. So of course, the government's going to charge a little bit. It's gonna increase the property value just by having that. So yeah, it's going to be a little up there in price. But hey, less things you got to spend money on. But more self-sufficient you come in your life, the more you start relying on mutualistic systems, mutualistic ways of living, you'll be all right. And simply this encourages you to want to have a cleaner environment because you need a good, clean environment for your plants to grow. All right, so simply care about the environment, all that stuff. Makes you more greenery, make you more knowledgeable about plants, understand how the cycle works in the world. Then we might be this way of life might help us expand so much that we might need more space for people to live. So, what better way than going up in space? And we need space to help us get access to more materials. There's more materials in space that we can get access to help us do this. Or people keep talking about scarcity, even though not many things are as scarce as we say they are. It's like some of that is artificial scarcity. You know what I'm saying? Kind of hoarding all the wealth and all that. But at the same time, if everybody's producing their own thing, we don't really have to worry about scarcity. Well, we can worry about scarcity somewhat when it comes to certain things. Okay, maybe it's not enough metal to go around for everybody to do this, but I feel like if we shrink things down on smaller scales, we should have enough. I mean, we have enough to make it on a big grand scale and all that. Why not shrink? We can shrink all that down to smaller scale things. Well, that's less metal required. I mean, that's to be distributed amongst multiple people. Now, we don't know yet until we do it, but hey, look, we build all these massive structures using metal. Hey, why not? Some of that can just be recycled, go around, make smaller scale things. You know, and we can go in space if we need to start mining. There's companies out there that are creating space mining technology. We can start giving them some funding, help them incur, and also give some funding to start getting us back out there or in space and start expanding space. So we can start mining some materials from some asteroids. Asteroids contain some materials. We gotta mine some asteroids for some materials, bring it back here, or we could simply establish a society on the on the outer areas. And one way we can establish societies on the outer areas of our own planet is simply just by fusion technology. If we expand fusion technology, fusion and do experiments with it in space, we can actually create livable small planets for our own selves. Fusion has the ability to generate enough gravitational pull. Well, fusion reaction alone has enough to generate gravitational pull. And I mean, we don't just have to take my word for it. I mean, this is just something I see as it has the ability to do how based off how planets work. Planets have fusion reactions in their core, and they're generating all these large scale amounts of gravity. So that's just my example right there. But nothing's better than concrete proof, right? Let's build a stable fusion core, eventually expand that technology out of space, put some rocks around it, and see how it works. See if it actually generates a small gravitational field. And we only need a big, massive thing, just nothing small enough to see that it generates a big enough the shit generates a strong enough gravitational field to pull things towards it. If we see evidence that it does that, uh, then we can simply use that same technology, expand it to bigger, hollow out the middle of an asteroid, and turn it into a small dwarf planet. A very small dwarf planet. Probably, if there's another word smaller than dwarf, let me know. But yes, I encourage us to be self sufficient. Think about Now, back to that. Think about what y'all can do for yourselves. That's the main thing. Start small. Think about what some things that you're appointing other people do that you can bring into your own hands and simply make it easier for yourself. Think about that. Simply just think about that. Don't let other factors try to take that mindset away from you. Think about what can you do for yourself. You know, that way it's in your hands, it's in your control. What can you do for yourself? Simply think about that. Expand your knowledge is one of them. Simply expanding your knowledge. If you don't know much about what to do about anything, learn about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how sewage systems work, learn about it. You don't know how the water treatment system works, learn about it. See how it goes. Sewage system works and water treatment. That kind of plays right into each other. You can lead right into that right after the other. It doesn't matter which way you go. If you don't know how electricity works, learn about it. Everybody should have. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to say you should have, but I think y'all should have. I'm sorry to say, but like I think y'all should have little mini libraries in your own home where you got all these books of knowledge teaching you about multiple different things about how things work in your world, in your society. letting you know, so that way you're more better informed of the process of how things work. And this can simply help you, if you're a creative mind, help you figure out how can we shrink this to a smaller scale. That's my goal. My promotion for this election season is self sufficiency. I will always stand on self sufficiency. I'm working on it myself. Listen, I'm like everybody else. I'm in a predicament, but I'm trying to build that for myself. I want to build self sufficiency for myself at the end of the day. I'm building on it bit by bit, small bits at a time. I'm getting certain things that I didn't get before. I'm getting it now. I'm trying to work on it. Trying to do the studies. I'm learning about these things. You know, it's all a process, but at least I'm still putting in the active work to get there, to do it. So that way I am better off. I want that for everybody else. It's not something I just want for me. This is some knowledge I want to share with everybody else because I really think it will be helpful for the world. If not for the world, for Americans. You know what I'm saying? And we can share this knowledge with the world once we develop here in America. Start informing yourselves, learn about how things work in your society, just the simple things you use every day. Learn about how they work. Phone, learn about how it works. Learn about networks. Learn about all that. Study. You don't have to be diving in the book all day, every day. I simply just make it upon myself to read 4 pages a day. That's it. Anytime, free time I have to throw in 4 pages a day, throw in 4 pages a day. 4 pages in that day. That's all you gotta do. Underline the key points. You know what I'm saying? Underline them key points in just 4 pages. Underline key points. Boom. That's all you gotta do. When you finish the book, then you make your notes. 4 pages a day, writing notes. You know what I'm saying? Slow process, but eventually you get there, you build your knowledge. Boom. Once you're done making your notes, make a test for yourself. 4 pages a day. 4 pages a day. You don't have to reread the book, but like you can just look at your notes, see what you wrote down the key points, and start making questions for yourself. There's a question standard you can follow that they got online. The question standard, I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure what it's called. I just know it's comprehension, synthesis, applicable. It's just all types of questions you can create for yourself, based off your own notes. So, and it's a thing you can look up online. Check it out online. I follow that myself. A teacher introduced it to me back in high school. I actually really liked it. It really helped ingrain knowledge in my brain, and I kept it. Uh, Me and that teacher didn't really see eye to eye on things, but I did like that she shared that. That was really great. That was really helpful. So, uh, but at the same time, uh, that's what I encourage for everybody. Do that for yourself. You ain't gotta. It's simple, y'all. Just you have a phone. All right, you don't gotta sit there and read a whole detailed book. You can read bit by bit on your phone about how things work. Jot down some key notes for yourself. Bam, you got the knowledge stored. Reason why I keep saying jot down notes, you want the knowledge off of technology. Technology can be shut down, it can be corrupted. People can do whatever they want to technology these days. We're becoming more technologically smart, more in today's world. So you want to have a you still want to have offline stuff for yourself, so that way, just in case something happens to tech, you got the physical right there. Okay, so there's still benefit in writing, people. Writing doesn't need to die out. There's still benefit in having writing. Shoot, or simply type it, print out the page, laminate it, boom, put it to the side somewhere where you can find it later. Or if you don't feel like writing, type it out. Type it out, print it out, laminate that, put it to the side. That's all you gotta do, people. It's not hard work. As you do it over time and get used to it, it becomes second nature. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, it's like brushing your teeth almost. You gotta get up and brush. Something you can do and get up. All right, maybe 4 pages a day. Get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Simple stuff like that. Just simple. Nothing too hard. Nothing to add. I know people live busy lives. That's why you want to make it in a way where you can still incorporate this in, even with your busy life. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So that way it doesn't take over your life, because people don't like the fact that, I just kind of stir me away from other things. No, you can do 4 pages a day, and you still have the rest of the time of the day to do whatever. Boom. Do whatever you got to do. Just get those 4 pages out the way. You have to read one at this time, one at that time, one at this time, and and the last one at that time. Do that. Just make sure you're getting them 4 pages a day in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot. So that's all I got for you today. I encourage self-sufficiency. If you're a person who feels like you need to vote on anything, I say the Transhumanist Party is a party I'm allied with. I've even signed myself up as a member. They have a candidate named Tom E. Ross and another candidate who's running for vice president. Tom E. Ross is running for the president. See, he has some really good ideas. He talks about how AI coming in and all of that, dealing with AI, some policies we should create based around AI, and that's one of the main focuses of the U.S. Transhumanist Party is policies. You know, so if you wanna, if you're a person who feel like voting is still necessary to the process of your life, you can say, I could say, U.S. Transhumanist Party. Take a look, see, take a look. Take a look at the ideas, what they like to discuss. They even have videos on YouTube called Salon Day, where they talk about things and talk about the concept of transhumanism and all the things that they get in. It gets into for real, for real. And all the people who's part of the U.S. Transhumanist Party, things they contribute with science and all that technology. We have a lot of genetic engineers and all that involved in the U.S. Transhumanist Party, all that. So take a look at that. Then also take a look at Tommy Ross, at the things he talks about. Take a look at the vice president candidate, the candidate for vice president, and all the things he talks about. Address. I've heard most of the ideas. They address multiple different topics. They all sound pretty good to me. Sounds like exactly where I prefer the future of this country to be at. At where a balance between AI and human, respecting one another, as well as technology not ruling over people, and people not ruling over technology. Is just technology assisting human and human assisting technology. We expand technology, and as technology expands us. And that's how it should be. Mutualism. Key thing, mutualism. Can't stress that enough. Mutualism. Work together, not against each other. You know? So, and with the day and age with Elon Musk's robots coming in, I mean, we're gonna see AI being sitting right next to like an actual person eventually. And it also talks about, yes, transhumanist party talks about what AI is. It talks about, it gets into the concept that AI will, it's just comprehensive systems. By us developing AI as a comprehensive system, they'll eventually gain consciousness through that comprehension. So simple things, people. But a lot of things is that you feel like you must vote. The U.S. Transhumanist Party has a candidate. You got to write them in. Look at they got a list of the states that allow automatic write-ins. Pennsylvania is one of them. Arkansas is one of them, and I guess a number of other states that I really didn't really look at too much. But I may look for Pennsylvania. I might go out tomorrow if I have time to write in Tom E. Ross. If I have time, because my ally with the Transhumanist Party, they share like a lot of great values as the Kudukadian values. They're very similar. Very similar. It's just one's a party, one's just a way of life and culture. So, as simple as that. So, that's all I got to say. Self sufficiency, U.S. Transhumanist Party. Choose, people. Signing out, baby.